Hello, and welcome to the Know Your Bio News Show.
For this edition, we are going to talk about emotions. Some examples of emotions include happiness, sadness, fear, etc.
Some real-life examples that can result in certain emotions are getting back a test that you found out that you just failed.
Mr. Zhao, your test.
Oh my god.
Another example is having 3 hours worth of homework and coming home at 6 o'clock from an extracurricular activity.
Oh, I forgot your homework too.
Oh my god. But have you ever wondered why or how we have emotions? Well, let's send it to our investigator, Bruce Chen, to find out. Hello, my name is Bruce Chen, and today I'll be discussing the topic of emotions. Specifically, how we have emotions. Let's get started. Your brain is what allows you to have emotions. In your brain, you have a group of nerves that are bunched together, and this group of nerves is called the limbic system. This is the system that is responsible for all of your emotions. When you experience something, your brain uses chemicals called neurotransmitters, and they carry thoughts between your brain cells. For example, endorphins are the chemicals used to make joy, and that is how you have emotions. I have also conducted a survey to look inside the minds of some teenagers. Let's take a look into what we have. This is a very brief survey that I have given to several teenagers, and the question was, how do you feel most of the time? As you can see, most people chose optimistic, which is a pretty good sign since being optimistic means that most of the time you have a pretty positive attitude. However, there were some people that chose pessimistic, which meant that most of the time you have a negative attitude. There were also a good amount that chose both, and finally, although very few people did, there were some people that chose either neither or they weren't sure. My name is Bruce Chen, and thank you very much for having me.
Okay, let's now tune in to our street reporter, Pheonix.
All right, I'm here with the freshman.
Matthew.
Okay, so I'm here to ask you some questions about your emotions. So, how do you feel when you're about to take a really big exam?
I feel nervous and like I'm not prepared.
Okay. How do you feel when you're coming from gym class?
I feel good.
Okay. How do you feel when you're about to go home?
I feel good.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm here with the freshman.
Dylan Cortez.
All right, Mr. Cortez, I'm here to ask you some questions about your emotions. Number one, how do you feel right before an extremely big test?
I usually feel really nervous. I'm anxious to take it and get it over with.
All right, number two, how do you feel when you get Christmas presents?
Oh, I feel so happy, bro.
All right, so I'm here with the 9th grade freshman.
Carlos.
Okay, so Mr. Carlos, I have a few questions for you.
Of course.
Okay, number one, how do you feel right before an extremely big test?
I feel very anxious.
Okay, number two, how do you feel when you get presents on Christmas?
I feel overjoyed.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm here with the 9th grader.
Kyle.
Alright, so Mr. Kyle, I'm here to ask you some questions about your emotions. Alright, first, how do you feel right before an extremely big test?
Nervous.
Okay, number two, how do you feel when you get Christmas presents?
Happy.
Thank you.
Okay.
Now let's head over to our emotion specialist, Professor Adams.
I am Professor Adams, and I am an emotion specialist. Okay, so today I will be breaking down the 6 basic emotions. These are happiness, sadness, surprise, disgust, fear, and anger. Also remember not to confuse emotions with moods. Emotions only last for a short period of time and are connected to a specific person or thing, or specific event or person, while moods last longer and are not connected to anyone or anything specific. Instead, moods refer to overall feelings of pleasure, sadness, irritation, or anxiety. Okay, so the first basic emotion is happiness. Happiness is a positive emotion caused by different kinds of experiences, and these depend on the person. You can easily spot happiness. If someone is happy, they may smile, laugh, or even jump up and down. Also, when you are happy, your blood pressure may increase and your breathing may become more rapid. The second basic emotion is sadness. We feel this emotion when we are when we've either had a big disappointment or lost something or someone that was very important to us. When we are feeling sad, our bodies react in many different ways. One of the more well-known reactions is crying, but sadness can also cause a lack of energy and a loss of appetite, both which can lead to illness. The third basic emotion is surprise. Surprise is a basic emotion that can be either pleasant or unpleasant. Just like other emotions, surprise is triggered in different ways, depending on the person. Examples include a sudden loud noise or an unexpected twist in a movie. When you become surprised, your jaws may drop, you may start to cry or even laugh, your pulse increases, your palms sweat, and your skin may become flushed. Okay, so moving on to the fourth emotion, which is disgust. It is a negative emotion triggered by things that are either dirty, offensive, or sickening. Most people become disgusted by physical things such as smelling, seeing, tasting, or touching something that is revolting. We may also become disgusted by someone with bad behavior. This is known as moral disgust. We show disgust in a variety of ways, including turning our heads, shielding our eyes from things that are physically disgusting, shaking our heads, or glaring at a person who has lied or misbehaved. Disgust often triggers nausea or causes people to shudder or shake. The fifth basic emotion is fear. Fear comes in many different forms depending on the person. Examples include fear of failure or fear of clowns. Fear causes our bodies to go through many biochemical, which means having to do with the chemistry of living organisms, and physical reactions. These include perspiring, tightening of your muscles, and increase of your heart rate. Other ways the body may react to fear are your limbs shaking, decrease in body temperature, and a feeling of being cold. And the final basic emotion is anger. People become angry when something doesn't go their way. When we become angry, our breathing may become faster and our muscles may become tense. You may also clench your fists, flare your nostrils, narrow your eyelids, or your eyes may bulge out. Anger causes your heart to increase, or your heart rate to increase, and your blood pressure to skyrocket. This may cause you to even feel like breaking something. Okay, so these have been the 6 emotions, and I hope you learned a lot today. The next topic I will be discussing the next topics I will be discussing will be the ideas of body before brain and brain before body. The idea of body before brain was created by American psychologist William James and Danish psychologist Carl Lange. They created the James-Lange theory, and which stated that emotions start not in the brain but in the body, and also that humans feel emotions because they sense physical changes in their bodies. As you can see in the picture, James and Lange both believe that first your body reacts and then your brain realizes what's going on and makes you feel a certain emotion, in this case, fear. Okay, so the other idea is brains before body, which was made by, or created by James Cannon and Philip Bard. Their idea is the complete opposite of James and Lange's theory. It states that emotions begin in the brain, not in the body. As you can see in the picture, a part of your brain called the thalamus receives a message, which is split and sent to the brain's cortex, which creates fear, and to the hypothalamus, which tells our heart to beat faster and our muscles to become tense. Today, Cannon and Bard's theory is the correct one. Okay, that is the end of the lesson. Now let's go to a brief commercial break. Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. My name is Dr. Gordon, and I'm a board-certified psychologist. Have you ever felt the need to open up to someone you trust about your feelings? Or have you ever been confused about your emotional state or why you feel a certain way? Or either have you had an experience like this? Okay, so if any of these things have ever happened to you, or if you've felt one of these ways, come down to Dr. G's Therapy. We're located at 56-30 Emotion Street, Bayside, Queens, New York. You can call us at 1-800-THERAPY. And if you call now, you get a free session.
Tune in next time for the next edition of the Know Your Bio News Show.
Emotionally, how do you feel about when you're... Alright, start over. Alright, I'm here with my third interview partner. Alright, start over. I'm here with the 10th grader, Joshua Isaac. Are we? Alright.
Return of the Monkey.
Sorry.
It's always a struggle when somebody's chopping food in your house.
Alright, my third interview today is with Mr. Sorry.
Pause.
Okay, the third person I'm going to interview is the ninth grader. Tyrone.
Some real life examples of emotions are...
No, you're saying the first one.
Oh.